my first time serving as board president. Before we begin, let's take a minute to remember friends no longer here. I remember a couple of my personal friends that never missed a meeting, Aloysius Wish Gatesman and Tom Burns. Let us also remember friends unable to attend tonight. So let's begin. If anyone is still holding a ballot, please cast it now. Would everyone please turn off your cell phones? Medical assistance is available if needed. Thank you to the Appleton Area Ambulance Service for providing this service tonight. Tonight's meeting is being videotaped and will be available on the website. This meeting is for you, our members. We want you to make it that way, so you will. We want to make it so you want it to be. So please, before you leave tonight, complete your survey and place in the box near the exit door. We do listen to your comments. I'd like to put out a big thank you to Central staff for organizing this event this evening, and a big round for them. Following this meeting, we will award prizes. Winners of all prizes must be members and present to win. The color guard tonight is the veterans of Fort Moore's Post 7073, who will now advance to present the colors. Please rise. It is my honor to introduce the color guard veterans of Fort Moore's Post 7073. And now our own Stacy Becknell, IT specialist for Central Electric, will sing the national anthem.
What so proudly we hailed
We are happy to have the Reverend Don Gardner of White Hill Camp and Conference Center who will give the invocation. Following the invocation, Central's Chris O'Donnell, Director of Member and Community Relations, will introduce our elected representatives.
Would you bow your heads? Our God and eternal Father in heaven, we thank you so much for the opportunity to come together here tonight. And as we did pause just a moment to remember those that have gone on to their eternal reward, we pray that you comfort the family members. We think of especially the family of the lost one last year, the service staff. Lord, as we gather together in this place of meeting tonight, I pray there would be a united spirit. I pray that it would be an example to not only the other communities around us, but to the state and nation, Lord, of what a member service is about. May your presence be here. May you direct the board and the director and the entire Central Electric staff. Give them safety this next year is our prayer, and your guidance. In Christ's name we pray.
Tonight we would like to recognize the representatives who are in attendance. First one I would like to recognize is Senator Scott Hutchinson. Scott, over there. Scott is a Republican serving the 21st District, Butler, parts of Butler, Clarion, and Erie, Forest, Venango, and parts of Warren counties. And he serves on the Environmental Resources and Energy, Finance, he's the Vice Chair, Intergovernmental Operations, Chair, Local Government, Public Health and Welfare, and Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committees. State Representative Donna Oberlander. Donna is a Republican. She's been a member of the House since 2009, representing the 63rd Legislative District, which is Clarion, parts of Armstrong County. She serves on the Appropriations, Children and Youth, Environmental Resources and Energy, and the Local Government Committees. Representative R. Lee James. Republican, serving the 64th District, Venango County, and parts of Butler County. He's been a member of the House since 2013. His committee assignments are Finance, Human Services, Secretary, Local Government, Veterans Affairs, and Emergency Preparedness. Greg Fowler. Mr. Fowler is a Clarion County Commissioner elected in 2011. He's a Clarion County native, 4 generations of Freiburg, and a Central Electric Cooperative member since 1992. He oversees county departments including Assessment, Central County, Children and Youth Services, Geographic Information System GIS, and Tax Claim, along with board assignments including Family New Advisory Board, Mental Health and Development Disabilities Advisory Board, Clarion County Corrections Jail, Chairman of the Prison Board, and is a Clarion County Conservation District Board member. Marcy Einhofer is here, and she is representing the Armstrong County Commissioners.
Okay, we will now call the meeting to order. The agenda, order of business of the annual meeting of the members is in accordance with Article 3, Section 6 of the bylaws. Article 3, Section 4 of the bylaws of the cooperative specify that 150 members constitute a quorum. Members voting by mail or by electronic means, as well as members present at the meeting, shall be conducted for the purpose of establishing a quorum. Registration at this time shows there are 388 members registered. There being a quorum, we shall proceed with the meeting. At this time, elections are closed. The selection of the 2014 Tellers Committee was handled through the May issue of Power Lines, asking for volunteers. like to thank each one for accepting this important responsibility. Thank you. Would all volunteer tellers please take the 2 locked ballot boxes to the tabulation area? Mr. John Brosnahan, Judge of Elections, will accompany you. Tonight we're going to recognize our Good Neighbor Scholarship winners and our Youth Tour winners. This year we awarded 2 good scholarships to students who demonstrated their non-paid service, commitment to school, community, and church. I'm happy to introduce Courtney Orleski, who is present tonight. She is attending Duquesne University, pursuing a doctorate in pharmacy. Courtney? Winner was Shelby Saylor, a Franklin area high school senior. Shelby could not be in attendance this evening because she just left for Westminster College, majoring in occupational therapy. Central Electric sent 2 high school juniors on youth tour this June. These students spent a week in our nation's capital with over 1,600 other cooperative student representatives from across the country. They met with their local legislators, toured historic sites, and made many new friends. They are Amanda Creighton from Cranberry Area High School, Danielle Keppel of Carn City Area High School. We are proud of all our young ambassadors. We would like to see more young members become involved with the cooperative and understand the cooperative difference. Some of you can remember the excitement of the first time your family flipped a switch and saw your home light up. Today's young people do not have this memory, and while they may have attended the annual meeting as a child and have fond memories of our picnic, they do not attend today. So I would like to ask for your help in encouraging younger members you know to become involved with Central Electric. It is their cooperative and they are our future. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce the Central Electric Co-op CEO and General Manager, Matt Beauchamp.
Good evening. Is it a little chilly in here? Or is it just came up and put my jacket on? Thank you all for joining us this evening. As I've said before at these meetings, it's wonderful to see so many people turn out, no matter what our weather. We got a terrible downpour earlier today, and you braved the muddy conditions to join us, but we really appreciate you taking the time to join us for our 77th annual meeting. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to participate with the business of your cooperative. I'd like to specifically thank Stacy Bechtel, our own IT administrator, for coming up and giving that lovely rendition of the national anthem tonight. I understand that's one of the most difficult songs in the world to sing, and she does an excellent job for us. At this time, I'd like to take a few moments to recognize our board of directors. Most of you know our board of directors. Many of them have been on the board for an extended period. Some are brand new, but they're your friends and community members that serve on different boards within your communities, and they are active in your communities and are very helpful. So let me take a moment and introduce, you've already met Jody Weaver, our board president. Kenneth Durrett, our board vice president, representing Butler County. Representing Venango County, our secretary treasurer, Althea Smith. Representing Butler County, William Eichner. Representing Venango County, our newest board member, Ken Etzel. And representing Forest County, Betty Walters. I might also point out that Betty is our representative to the Pennsylvania Rural Electric Association Board. Representing Clarion County and our Allegheny Electric Cooperative Board member is Rick Weaver. And last on our list, but only last because tonight happens to be her last board meeting with us, representing Armstrong County. Marge Twilliger has been part of our board family and our cooperative family for nearly 40 years as a spouse of a former board member, and then filling his role later on as a board member herself. She sat on the board of the PREA for us. She's very active and excellent board member, and we're going to miss her a great deal. But if you notice, Marge is not running for re-election this year, so I wanted to take a moment and recognize her specifically. I knew we'd need those tissues up here today. The humidity has my paper sticking together, so bear with me. Also seated on the stage with us tonight is the attorney for the legal counsel for Central Electric, Attorney Mike Sloat. I'd like to take a minute and introduce our Member Aware Advisory Committee, sitting right down here in front. This is a pretty important committee to me. This is a 2-year committee. We ask members to volunteer their time, and they meet quarterly, and we get an opportunity to interact with members directly, similar to this meeting, but on a more one-on-one basis. We give them as much information as we can about the cooperative, I'm sure more than they'd like sometimes. And I was talking with a former back member tonight who said, yeah, we're trying to do this interaction 20 members at a time, and we're going to get through all of you eventually. But that might take a few years. So I'd like to take a minute and introduce those folks. Representing Armstrong County, Francis and Loretta Posey. Representing Butler County, Dave and Linda Carney. And also from Butler County, Ronald and Peggy Morrison. Representing Clarion County, Randy and Mary Gilbert. And also from Clarion County, Larry and Lola Ritz. Representing Forest County, Forest County, Jeffrey and Dina Hartzell. Representing Venango County, Bob and Marilyn Betzel. And also from Venango County, Greg Miller. And representing our seasonal accounts on this committee is Ken Filer and Jim Nelson. I'd like to recognize just a couple more groups real quickly. First of all, representing the Pennsylvania Rural Electric Association for us today, and hopefully you interacted with her manning our anchor table out there, Stephanie Oganeski in the front row. Also, I'd like to recognize very quickly, in the back of your program, you will see sponsors listed that have helped to defray the cost of our meeting today. If you could please take a look and join me in thanking them. Also, I'd like to thank specifically Hazeland Tree Service for providing the water today. I know I've had more than my share. The next order of business will be the reading of the notice of the meeting and proof of the due publication of mailing thereof by Secretary and Treasurer of the Cooperative, Althea Smith.
Althea M. Smith, being sworn on oath, deposes and says that she is the duly elected, qualified, and acting Secretary of Central Electric Cooperative Incorporated, hereinafter called the Cooperative, that on the 25th day of July 2014, she caused to be mailed by Diamond Marketing Solutions to each member of the cooperative at his or her address, as it appears in the records of the cooperative, a notice of the annual meeting of the members of the cooperative, to be held August 22nd, 2014, by depositing such notice with postage thereon prepaid, addressed as aforesaid, in the United States Post Office at Carroll Stream, Illinois, and that the attached is a true and correct copy of such notice of said meeting mailed as aforesaid.
And now we'll have the approval of the 2013 annual meeting minutes. In your program is a copy of last year's minutes. In order to expedite our business meeting, may I hear a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of our 2013 annual meeting of the membership and approve the same? Is there a second to this motion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Now we will have the approval of our financial statements. Our balance sheets and operating statement are included as a part of the annual report, which appears in August issue of Power Lines. A copy was mailed to every member. In view of this, I would entertain a motion to approve the financial statement. May I have a motion to approve the financial statement and waive the reading thereof? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Now we'll hear from Matt Boshar, our CEO and General Manager.
I was surprised. I forgot I have to get back up here and talk. I know someone commented to me before the meeting that they were very happy that last year my remarks only took about 21 minutes. I felt like I was up here quite a while last year talking about our strategic plan. This year's remarks are going to be a little bit more brief than that. Get some applause, yeah. Because really, my remarks only need to be long enough to allow the tellers to count the ballots. So that gets us done with our meeting. But once again, thank you, Mr. President, for introducing me. And thank you again to all of you for joining us tonight and engaging with your cooperative, because again, it's your cooperative. I'd like to take a minute and recognize a few groups. One that I just introduced, our board of directors, because over the past year, we ask a great deal of our board. And this particular group of people steps up every time they're asked. So if you could join me in thanking them for the efforts they put forth this year. I'd especially like to thank our very dedicated group of employees. Their dedication to our membership, to the work they do, and to each other is inspirational to me. They're in the green shirts tonight. There's a few of them in the building here. If you'd stand up in green shirts. I know there's a lot of green shirts outside. last year, I was chastised by our board of directors for not recognizing my lovely wife. And of course, as I have done in years past, I'm sorry, honey, but it struck me that our board of directors is always right. So I will, in fact, recognize my wife tonight. But what they didn't chastise me for is not recognizing their respective spouses and those spouses and family members of our employees as well, because frankly, we can't do what we do on behalf of our cooperative if we don't have that family support at home. So please join me in thanking them. And I think my wife's very excited because she's holding a baby. And no, it's not mine. Kids are great when they're someone else's. Ours are much older than that now. Each year I take a few minutes to describe the year past and what we've done. I usually use a lot of numbers to emphasize my points. And I'm certainly going to give you some numbers tonight, just a few, but I'd like to focus a little bit more on what you've probably heard me say a lot, the cooperative difference. And the cooperative difference is something that I mention probably too often in my monthly articles, and I'm sure regular readers of our Power Lines would know that, and I know you all regularly read Power Lines. But the difference in, well, my background in the electric utility business has given me the luxury of having worked for an investor-owned utility, similar to those First Energy companies that surround our service territory. It's also given me the opportunity to work for a public power company for some years. And then ultimately I have the benefit of coming to work for a cooperative, work for you. And what I've discovered and what my experience has shown me is that there truly is a cooperative difference. And I want to spend a little time tonight talking about that difference and then telling you some of the numbers about what that difference might do. Now certainly all distribution electric companies, they all do the same things. They get generation from a source. They get that source generated or transmitted over power lines to the local area. They put it through substations and they distribute it to all of their, in our case, members, in their case, customers. They distribute it as we do. And while there are a number of similarities between what those other companies do and what we do, where the advantage lies is in the difference. And it's that cooperative difference, again, that I'm going to talk a few more minutes about. In trying to describe the difference, I thought about our history. You know, why are we here? How did we come about? Because your predecessors, our founding members, they recognized the importance of electrifying our portion of rural America and also the country as a whole. Unfortunately, the investor-owned utilities of the day didn't see profit in that importance that we had out there. So it took our members to step up and make it happen. And so thank you to our previous members to make this happen, because we've been enjoying 77 years of electricity because of it. Then I thought, well, maybe I can talk about the business model. You know, our finance and accounting folks would probably like me talking about the business model, because we're unique in that regard too. An investor-owned utility is profit-driven and is regulated by the PUC. Those public power companies, they've got an awful lot of governmental regulation that they need to fight through. Cooperatives are private, not-for-profit, most importantly, organizations that are, well, I'm sorry, not most importantly, that are governed by their membership, owned and governed by their membership. You all elect this board of directors to make sure we as a company are doing what you want. But then I thought, well, I don't know if that's really we're going to tell the story. So I actually put together some slides, because I thought, well, we've got 7 cooperative principles that all cooperatives follow, whether they're an electric cooperative or not. Oh, good. Thank you, Chris. We got that. Can everybody read that okay? No? Okay. Well, let me see. I have to flip pages here real quickly. Well, let me blow that up a little bit. See if we can see that a little better. Or not. No, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. that's our members. That's not tonight's picture, that's actually from last night. Oh, wait a minute, that's our board of directors. And lastly, that's our employee group in front of our new building. I guess a picture really does say 1,000 words, because those 1,000 words that you couldn't read are illustrated in my mind best by these pictures. The real cooperative difference. These three groups, you, our membership, our board of directors that represent you, and our group of employees that work on your behalf. All of us working together to make sure we're accomplishing what we need to do. And that is to provide electric service to our little corner of rural America, and much more. Now, Mr. Weaver mentioned a little while ago the importance of the youth of our organization. Maybe this would be a good moment to reinforce their participation, because it's important for our next 77 years that those young members are as engaged as you have been all this time. We met our youth tour, we heard about our youth tour participants, and we met one of our scholarship winners. If these young people are any indication, our cooperative's in good hands into the future, and has a bright future ahead of them. But we, certainly us staff, our board, and you all, need to make sure that they understand what that cooperative difference is, and what their part in it is moving forward. Now, I told you I'd touch on some numbers, and I'm an engineer by education, so I'm certainly going to touch on some numbers. First, let's talk about rates. Everybody's always very excited about rates. This is everybody's favorite topic. Oh, okay, not your favorite topic, but certainly a topic of great importance to you. You've probably been hearing more than your share of stories in the news lately about rates increasing in electric companies. Probably read about them in the newspapers. Some of you have even called into the office asking about what that rate increase is going to be at Central Electric. Those stories are not about Central Electric. We haven't had a rate increase since July 1st of 2013, and we will not have a rate increase here in 2014. Now, we've been working hard to make sure we manage our costs and keep them in check. And I'm going to describe a few things that we've done to do that. And we've also worked very closely with Allegheny Electric Cooperative. That's our generation and transmission cooperative that we as an organization are member owners of, just like you are member owners of Central Electric. We've been working very closely with them to help mitigate future rate increases for them, and it's paid off in this last year. As a matter of fact, I guess I can share this information, we were told by Allegheny Electric that we will not be receiving a power supply rate increase into year 2015. So that's an excellent opportunity for us to Now, this rate stability hasn't stopped us from retiring capital credits. As a matter of fact, in April of 2014, we just retired nearly $1.4 million of patronage capital to you, our membership. Now, most of you would have seen that in the form of a bill credit that you got in April, but that combined with the retirement that we did in 2013 means that we have, in the last 2 cycles, retired over $2.2 million to our membership. I focus on that because, as part of the cooperative difference that I'm talking about, our board, your representatives, are very committed to the retirement of capital credits as one of those cornerstones of the cooperative difference. Well, what about reliability? Another topic that falls right into this category. Because we've stabilized our rates and because we're retiring capital credits, have we decided not to work on the system anymore? Certainly not. That's of paramount importance, especially, as I mentioned, as an engineer by education. It's really important to me that we make sure our system stays where it needs to stay, maintaining that reliability. As a matter of fact, in 2013, we finished a 20-year project replacing 870 miles of electric lines. Now, we also cleared, in 2013, cleared 314 miles of rights-of-way. Just a reminder for everybody, clearing right-of-way is what we call trimming trees. Because honestly, the focus of trimming trees for us is not cutting a tree down. The focus of trimming trees is to make sure that we mitigate power outages. We want to make sure we have as few of those as we can. Now, given our weather that we've had and the ridiculous rain that we've been seeing, tree trimming is more important this year than it's been, frankly, ever. We've also inspected nearly 5,900 poles in 2013 to make sure our system's staying safe and up to date. We have a 4-year work plan that we put in place, obviously every 4 years. And in doing that, it helps us to stay focused and directed on what we're doing and getting that work done to make sure our system is maintained and upgraded on a continual basis. This plan allows us to keep our system up to date and provide for the capacity needs of our membership as we grow. Now, I've got some bad news. Our outage time for 2013 was 8.6 hours per member. And in 2014, that number's tracking pretty similarly to that. Now, I can tell you that I can give you some numbers about power supply outages and scheduled outages and major storm events. But that doesn't matter to you as our members, nor should it. This number's too high. We're taking some of what I described, our actions to try to decrease that number, and we're working to decrease that number every year. Now, I mentioned those other possible numbers to carve out some of those outage numbers, but you don't care why you were out of service. You care that you were out of service, and we recognize that. That's why we don't break those numbers down any further. Now, while I can't quantify it, I can tell you that the efforts that I've been describing and that I will continue to describe have a significant impact in decreasing that outage number. Given the weather patterns that we've been experiencing over the last couple of years, if we didn't do those services or those efforts that we're doing, this number would be dramatically higher. Now, we can't stop the power from going out always, but we are making efforts to improve our response time when the power does go out. Most recently, we've made a connection between our outage management system and we linked it to our automated meter system. This is giving us a lot more information in a much timelier fashion, which will allow us to get the resources necessary to the right place at the right time. Because we're going to identify the scope and the location much more accurately of any outage that we have. Now, besides the work on our external systems, we've been working on our systems inside the office, our processes inside the office as well. One of the things that I highlight, I think every year that I've been doing this, is a number of electronic payments that we're receiving. We're up to 44% last year. That's a remarkable number given the size of our utility, and it demonstrates a significant cost savings over the previous manual process that we've been doing. So thank you all for participating and doing that electronically. And if you haven't been, I'm going to ask that you consider doing it electronically. Make your payments electronically. It saves our entire cooperative quite a bit of money. Now, we've also implemented what we call Smart Hub. It's a user interface that allows our members to pay a bill, view their usage, and even report an outage. One of these green shirts I referenced, Ken Molesky, was doing a demonstration of this service under the tent out there. I hope some of you got a chance to see it. But if you haven't put it to use, like over 2,000 of our members have, let me put a plug in right now to ask you to give it a try. It's something that would be very valuable for you. Just go to our website, click on the purple Smart Hub icon at the top, and it'll take you right to the Smart Hub and start to walk you through some of the advantages of it. If you have some more questions, don't hesitate to call the office, and that same gentleman who was interfacing out there with you all, he'll be doing it again in the office. Speaking of our website, I think there was a segue there somewhere. It says speaking of our website. Speaking of our website, we've just recently changed providers of our website. It's providing very user-friendly content. It's allowing us to update that information much more quickly and much more often. And it's also been done at a lower cost. As a matter of fact, free. So we save our cooperative money every day with that. The website's just one of the ways that we interact with our membership. We've got our power lines that I made mention of earlier. I know the Ken's Kilowatt Corridor and the recipe are still the favorite things, but I'm gaining ground. We also have press releases, Twitter, believe it or not, public presentations, and one-on-one conversations with our membership. That, for me, is one of the best things I can have. This meeting in particular is a wonderful opportunity for myself and all of our staff to interact with our membership. Your cooperative is also very active with its statewide organization. I introduced Stephanie Okaneski earlier tonight, who represents us and actively does our ACRE program. But they also provide us with training and best practices of every area of responsibility within the cooperative. We're also very politically active because well, it's been said, I won't give you the second half of it, but it's been said that cooperatives were born in politics. And unfortunately, they may die that way too someday. But we recognize that decisions made at the state level and the federal level have a direct impact on our membership. So because of that, we maintain a dialogue with our representatives. I'm so happy to see some of them represented here today. I appreciate them coming out. But that illustrates the relationship they have with you, our members, and us as an organization. Well, these have been just a few highlights of the year past. They represent some of the ways the cooperative difference is illustrated. Oh my goodness, wet papers are difficult to flip. Whenever I begin to write my remarks, I get pressure from Chris O'Donnell to get them done sooner. I get pressure from Cindy Cullen to make sure I get them to her so she can give copies to our board. Unfortunately, I never finish those comments until this morning. And I always plan to keep it brief when I come up here. But I must confess that I really like to talk about this business. It's something that doesn't interest everyone, but certainly it interests me. And once I get going, it's hard for me to stop. And that's because our board, our employees, that very dedicated group of people, and you, our membership, the real cooperative difference, you give me a great story to stand up here and tell. So again, I want to thank you for that. It's always my pleasure to spend some time meeting with all of you at the meeting, despite the fact that I'm wearing a suit and I'm about to melt. I like walking around and talking with you all. So I want to, again, take the opportunity to thank you, and thank you for coming out and doing the business of your cooperative, and letting me tell you about what we're doing on your behalf. I didn't put the clock up here, so I'm not sure what time I have left, but there were a few questions submitted in advance, and I always like to take a minute and go through those. The first of them comes to us from Carl Traverman. Excuse me if I've butchered your name, Carl, from Oil City. He says, how do linemen stay safe in bad weather, when there are lines down and poles broken? Well, that's an excellent question, because the safety of our employees and the public is of paramount importance to us. And And as your question suggests, our linemen are at particular risk because they're the ones that are going out in the field and working in these conditions. Even in the best of conditions, they're working at elevation and they're working often on energized lines. So our linemen are trained extensively to follow safe work practices and in identification of hazards. But there are some situations where those two things wouldn't even mitigate the trouble enough. So in rare circumstances, they actually wait until those circumstances have passed before they actually go out and do the work. It's a particularly dangerous profession, and those that are in it provide a remarkable service. Earlier this summer, Representative Donna Oberlander sponsored House Resolution 566, recognizing June 22nd, 2014 as Line Worker Appreciation Day throughout the Commonwealth, in recognition of the efforts of our linemen and all line workers on behalf of the public. I hope you saw the resolution we have it framed and put outside with a display under the tent. And I would like to thank Representative Oberlander for doing that on our behalf. Just two more questions submitted in advance, and one of them is, why do our lights blink so much just to reset everything? Well, yeah, it comes to us from Arthur Herman from Tionesta, Pennsylvania, and our lights blinking is not intended to make you have to reset everything. I understand we still have to do that, but the lights blinking are actually the normal operation of our system. We have fusing and sectionalizing devices out there that are intended to do exactly that. If a transient fault, a tree limb, for instance, comes in contact with the wire, the device opens up temporarily, long enough for the tree limb to hopefully clear itself from the line, and then it closes back in. That's the blinking you're seeing. Hopefully that will stop a permanent outage from happening. That's the goal. There are times when that tree, especially in these conditions, has just tipped completely over and taken the line down or caused a permanent fault condition. But that's where the blinking lights come from. The last one I have that was submitted came to us from Kevin and Christine Brisley, excuse me again if I've screwed up your name, from Kennerdale. And they asked, can you improve and go more wind and solar? Well, I won't get into the debate about whether the wind and solar applications are improvements over our system, but I will start by saying I want to remind us all that Central Electric is a distribution cooperative, and as such, doesn't actually own any generation directly. But as I mentioned before, we are, as a group, member owners of Allegheny Electric Cooperative. Now, Allegheny Electric Cooperative, where we get all of our generation capacity, is 10% owner of the Susquehanna Nuclear Facility and 100% owner of the Raystown Hydroelectric Facility. Now, those two generation resources do provide between 65 and 70% of the needs for all the cooperatives in the state of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Now, that same cooperative is charged by its members, by us, with regularly reviewing all available resources to see what we could purchase, to see when we might do that, and to see if it's financially feasible to do so. So at this point, we are much less exposed to the marketplace than a lot of our contemporaries around us because of those asset ownership, because of that asset ownership that we have. So with that, I believe our next step is to open the floor for any questions from the floor. We have a microphone down front if anybody has a question that they'd like to ask. I think it's time to move on. I don't have my other... I didn't have my other script in front of me to see who I'm supposed to bring back up. I get to election procedure.
The Cooperatives Board consists of 8 directors, as you can see as they're seated up here. Each director is elected from the cooperative membership, and the seats are formed from districts from the counties that are served by the cooperative. Each director seat carries a term of 4 years, and each year 2 director seats are up for election. Earlier this year, members from Armstrong County and Butler County were invited through an issue of power lines to petition to run for these seats. Now, the eligibility requirements for serving as a director are provided in the cooperative bylaws and in the member handbook. You can find the cooperative bylaws and the member handbook available at the cooperative's website, which is www.central.coop. To ensure the petitioners are eligible, the board appoints members to a nominating committee. The nominating committee reviews the petitions to verify that the petitions are qualified in accordance with the cooperative bylaws and state regulations. Those that qualify are nominated, and their names are placed on the ballots. The bylaws provide that incumbent directors will be automatically nominated. At this time, we recognize the following members that serve on the nominating committee. Harvey Luce of East Brady, Donald Christie of Saxonburg, Joe Gibson of Parker, James Reed of Freiburg, Randy Theron of Knox, Dennis Lamb of Tynesta, Carl Gadsby of Grove City, and Ron Pernick of Cranberry. There are 2 qualifying candidates nominated to run for the Armstrong director seat. Candidate Nancy Twigler Linyak of East Brady and candidate Mark C. Robinson of Karnes City. There was 1 qualifying candidate nominated for the Butler County director seat, is the incumbent director William Eichner of Eau Claire. Because of the nature of the election process and the convenience of the mail ballots, nominations from the floor have been replaced by providing an option on the ballot for a write-in candidate. Ballots were mailed to the cooperative membership, permitting each member to have an option of voting by mail. You can vote online through the website, again at www.central.coop, and paper ballots that were cast tonight. The paper ballots had to be cast tonight before the beginning of the meeting. The ballots by mail and through the internet had to be done by August 21st. The collection and tabulation of the mail and online ballots received prior to tonight's meeting was handled by an independent agency. That independent agency is Diamond Marketing Solutions of St. Charles, Illinois. Diamond Marketing Solutions reported those results to the Judge of Elections. John Brosnahan is a certified public accountant with an office in Hamilton, has been appointed by the board to serve as the Judge of Elections. As Judge of Elections, Mr. Brosnahan is also overseeing the teller's tabulation for the ballots that were cast tonight. I'd like to conclude by thanking the members that served as tonight's tellers. Virginia Young of Fairmont City, Margaret Studebaker of Edmonton, Clarence Siegel of Tynesta, Barbara Schell of Freiburg, Jean Rugg of Butler, Eleonora Miller of Grove City, Theodore Walker of Fenelton, Renata Morgan of Butler. And with that, that will conclude my report, and the Judge of Elections will be called on shortly to give the results of the election. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to introduce the Judge of Elections, John Brosnahan, to give the election results. John?
Here are the results for the Board of Directors election 2014, Central Electric Cooperative, Butler County, William Eichner, 2,168 votes with 11 write-ins. He would be declared the winner. Armstrong County, there were 4 write-ins. Nancy Twilliger Laniak had 1,454 votes. Mark C. Robinson, 736 votes. The winner is Nancy Twilliger Laniak from Armstrong County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brosnahan, and congratulations, Nancy and Bill. Now, is there any unfinished business or new business at this time? If there's no further business or discussion, I declare the 77th annual meeting of Central Electric Cooperative adjourned. And now prizes will be awarded under the direction of Cindy Cullen and Chris O'Donnell. Thank you all for attending, and see you next year.
Please stay until the last prize winner has been located, because winners must be present, and if they aren't, we will draw another ticket. Before I pull the names for our grand prizes, I want to remind you to complete the survey and place it in the box by the door as you leave. Your comments and ideas are important to us. If you win one of the heavier prizes, we have employees who will help you to the car. Please see me following the meeting if you need help. Our first prize is from USX Credit Union, and it's a gift basket. Number 1058. Our next gift is a Suncast ceiling storage unit for your garage. 0818. 0818. Does anybody claim that? No, we'll draw another. 1104. 1104, right in the middle. Our next prize is a Skill 3/8 corded drill. (0961). 0961.
Over there.
Our next prize will be a Skill 7 1/4 circular saw. 1216. 1216. Our next is a Century Safe waterproof fire chest. 1325. 1325. Our next gift is a Black & Decker 12-inch electric string trimmer. 0976. 0976. Oh, 0976. No? Okay. 1147 for the trimmer. 1147. Okay, our next gift will be a Vac-Master 2.5 gallon wet dry vac. 1368. 1368. Is anybody 1368? No? Okay. 1207 then. Anybody? 1207. The next gift is an Ozark Trail in 10 by 10 canopy, gazebo tent, 0936. In the back, 0936. A 1.7 cubic foot refrigerator that is black, 0944. Oh, right in the front. Sony DVD player is the next gift, and it is 1387. 1387. Okay. If you need help getting that carried out, someone will help you. Do we have 1387? Okay, Westinghouse Solar Cargo Spotlights, 1095. Oster 14-speed blender, 1485. 1485.
Over there. Over there.
In the back on the left. Oster extra large confection countertop oven, 1358. 1358 in the middle on the left.
Does she have it?
Lasco Ultra Slim Oscillating Fan, 1196. Oh, right in the front. Okay. We need that fan tonight. A Black & Decker waterproof spotlight, 1412.
Found the record.
1412.
Oh, I don't know.
A DMB countertop microwave, stainless steel, 1456. 1456. To the right. A Black & Decker high performance blower vacuum, 1103.
No, wait, that was her back again.
1103.
Wait.
1103.
My mom.
No. Last call 1103 for the vacuum? No? Okay, how about 0908 for the vacuum? To the right in the back? A Farberware family size griddle, 1138. 1138. The 1138. Oh, and the left on the back. Okay, next is a good gift, a window air conditioner. Who's the lucky person? 0841.
There it is.
0841. Oh, they're lucky. You're going to be good tonight. An iLive under the cabinet clock radio for 0973. 0973 to the right. A Jensen wall-mounted CD system with radio, 1421. One, 421. Okay. All right, and the $150 Walmart gift card donated by McCall's Excavating, 0994. Over to the right. Thank you. That was our last grand prize. Don't forget to fill out the surveys and the